Iolanthe slinked below deck, following a drow woman into the general crew quarters. Inside one of the rooms, Iolanthe found a note left for crewman Santigus Fletcher, and noticed a small strongbox beneath the bed next to his. Iolanthe brought the letter to Tess in the recreation hall in the cargo deck, where Tess grew suspicious of the cat's intelligence. Come morning, the party attempted to capture and learn what the strange animal was up to. Welcome back to New Dalancia, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. And when we left off, Misku had just scooped up the kitty and was holding Iolanthe at bay while I don't really know what's going to happen next. I guess we'll find out. So Misku's holding down the cat. I think he kind of calmed down at that point, and everybody's sort of gathered around.
Yeah, Yolanthe's still kind of struggling a little bit, but getting less and less, or more and more resisted, I guess.
Having already used Dispel Magic, Tess is starting to get the feeling that maybe this is actually a cat. And we're torturing the poor soul for no reason. So looking to Misku, Tess will say, Tess maybe thinks that this might be an actual cat. Sorry, false alarm. Perhaps we should let the cat go before she starts to really scratch everyone up.
Reluctantly, Misku probably starts to loosen her grip on you, Iolanthe.
Yolanthe immediately darts out of Misku's arms and books it over to the table over to hide underneath Rex's chair. With of course, the cat floof going.
Tess will go over to that table and she's going to lean down and look at the kitty and say, Tess is so sorry, sweet kitty. You deserved better.
Elthius kind of scoffs and turns and walks out of the room.
Well, Tess is still hungry, so going to get some more food in my system before the day starts.
Indeed, I'd barely started eating before this went down.
Oh, y'all weren't done? Oh.
Are you still hungry?
No, Rex just been there eating the whole time.
Well, just in case you didn't get a chance to last session, if you have eaten the food that Val has prepared, then you can add a +1 wisdom modifier. So +1 to your wisdom for the rest of the day. Well, Val, after a time, finishes up eating and produces a pipe once again from within, somewhere within his cloak, his robes. Starts puffing on it. It seems to me that we have two problems at current. One with the thief aboard the ship, and the second with our friend in the mirror. I suppose I'd like to know what you all intend to do.
This is going to be very off topic, but Tess really loves your cooking, Val. It's really good. Tess can't describe the flavors that are melting on my tongue.
Why, thank you. I have worked very hard to try to better myself at in the way of the chef, I suppose. I do appreciate your feedback.
Were you in charge of cooking at the monastery?
No, but often I would have to, I would find myself cooking, either just for myself or for others.
That's amazing. Tess cannot cook for shit. Really enjoy your food whenever you cook, though. Thank you.
Why would you want to cook shit? I wonder.
Tess is just repeating what one of the soldiers told her when she tried to cook.
Ah, I see. Well, perhaps one day we will have to try your shit cuisine.
Or perhaps maybe Val can teach Tess how to cook something delicious for once.
Oh, I think I just understood.
But yes, back to the problems at hand. Have we made any headway at all on our ship thief? Tess has not been keeping up with the latest news.
I've heard nothing. I also haven't been looking into it myself. I've been busy with other duties.
Well, I tried to lay a trap. I slept with my door open, but I couldn't tell if anything got stolen.
Do you have anything you think this thief may want? What do we know about the thief? We know the article that was stolen was a small earring. Not expensive in nature.
But of great sentimental value. Correct?
Do you believe that the thief may have taken that sentimental value into consideration when planning the theft?
Could be quite possible if there's a grudge against this person.
In the stories that I read, usually thieves go after things of high monetary value, and personal value is just that, personal. It's interesting.
Rec looks in his shirt for his bear claw necklace. Is it still there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, they didn't get anything personal in mind that I could tell.
Hmm.
And he pulls out a necklace that's got some bear claws and teeth and on it, and it's like, I got this from my mom.
Balphalin steps up to the table before you and looks across at the necklace. It's beautiful.
Iolanthe hops up on the table and sniffs at it.
Oh, speaking of personal items, and Tess looks in her bag.
I ain't feeding you, kitty. Sit down. Off table.
The necklace smells of sweat and of well, there's several other smells in there that you're unable to identify at this time.
Looks like Tess's mom's skull is still in the bag. So nobody's targeting Tess in specific. Nor Reg. Tess thinks maybe we should focus on people who know Bagram really, really well.
So you believe that this may have been a personal attack on Bagram?
It does seem that way, as other personal effects around the ship don't seem to be being stole. It's just that one earring, correct?
Thus far. I agree. Seeing as the item had low monetary value, I believe that this may have been some sort of a personal attack on Bagram. To anger him or otherwise to injure him. But why? The only person I can think of who would have any kind of adversarial nature with Bagram, I believe, would be the youngling, Adam. Otherwise, his cohorts could also be likely suspects. Maybe, and of course, this is conjecture. Perhaps one of them had grown angry at him over the years that they worked together. Actually, now that I think of it, I don't know that they had worked together for years. They could be new acquaintances that met right before we encountered them.
Well, Adam did seem to get up and leave from the bar pretty quickly once the discussion of the earrings started. At least a couple days ago or so. Tess is very lost on her own timeline. Excuse the short-term memory. Perhaps it would benefit us to try and get closer to Adam.
Perhaps we... Perhaps we could find out if there's some sort of motive there. Adam doesn't seem the type to talk much. And I've also noticed that they seem to lack eye contact with anyone.
There could just be a sense of very low confidence.
Or perhaps one's accustomed to the abuse of others. However,
Do you think that Bagram would actually abuse his teammates?
I don't think we can put anything past Bagram, especially when it comes to violence.
Tess thought he was a nice enough man, especially with boarding the ship and helping us. He just
Yes,
seems
you
a little
believe
rough
everyone
around
is a
the
nice
edges.
enough man.
That's true. Tess does give benefit of the doubt.
He chuckles a bit and he takes another long drag off his pipe, smoke once again coming, pillowing from his nostrils.
May Tess try your smoke?
Absolutely. And he passes you the pipe. It's a long wooden pipe with with a different kind of wood for the mouthpiece. Seems like the mouthpiece may be made of something like maple, and the pipe proper is made of like an oak or sort of darker wood. Each is stained and with various dyes, and it's a nice little piece. As you puff it, the smoke is the smoke from this pipe is actually kind of less musky and a little bit more. Has more of a citrus tinge to it as it fills your mouth and your olfactory.
Tess takes a big fucking hit from this pipe, and then she reels back real quick, and you hear...
Go ahead and roll a Constitution check, please.
Okay.
So based on what they were saying about Bagram, Rek's gonna think back on, since he's been helping, he's been directly working with Bagram, right?
Oh yeah.
So he thinks back, would Rek remember any time that he seemed belittling or bullying as far as working with the crew?
To Adam in specific, absolutely. And
Okay.
almost constantly, when the two are together, he's kind of constantly taking jabs at him, at them, and he's kind of constantly being a jerk. You can tell that he doesn't think very much of Adam. He thinks that Adam is perhaps weak or unfitting to be a sailor. You get that gist from him. Otherwise, he doesn't seem to. He kind of stays to himself outside of that.
Okay, so it's specifically Adam and not anyone else, not his general attitude.
Well, I mean, in general, he does seem to be sort of, what's the term? Well, rough around the edges is good, but I would say quick to anger is a bit more appropriate. Like, it's very easy to irritate him.
Okay. Well, since I've been working with him, Bogram's been, seemed like he got kind of short fuse about around anybody if you irritate him. But yeah, he does seem to pick on that kid quite a bit. Don't know if he's got it out for him though. Just seems like it.
Iolanthe had been batting at the necklace in Rex's hand, but once she sees the pipe come out with Val and Tess, she heads over and like bounds over to their table.
For Tess and Iolanthe, inhaling the smoke, it has a sort of invigorating quality about it. It's sort of like having a cup of coffee, but in smoke form.
Tess is still over here coughing and fighting for her life. She took too big of a hit or something.
Yes, yeah.
Iolanthe rubs against her leg, trying to comfort her.
Tess, you are wired off of that, so nothing implied there, statistic-wise, but you are absolutely. It's like you've had a few too many cups of coffee. You're kind of shaky and jittery.
Tess puts a hand up to her chest real quick, and she's trying to get a handle on herself. Ian Fear, what do you think of this whole situation?
Well, to
And
me,
why are you still in the hallway?
well, I, I'm, I mean, I've had my food, but to me, it just seems a little strange, not only for this to have happened early, because, I mean, the first thing you learn, well, at least so I've been read or have been told when you're thieving, is you want to get rid of it as soon as possible. And that's not something we can say at the moment that can be done unless it's been thrown overboard.
And who would steal something just to throw it overboard? It doesn't make any sense.
Infer makes a good point. We also haven't found the earring that was stolen. Perhaps that's a bit much to expect, though.
Looking down at our little kitty friend, though, Tess is gonna kind of reach out to boop her on the nose and say, "Perhaps our little kitty friend can help us find out."
Ian Fear, as you complete your sentence, you hear from the stairs behind you the tromping of feet and the gradual crescendo of two voices speaking to one another. The Santigus Fletcher, accompanied by Dreia Blackstrand, both come down the stairs. They seem to be engaged in a casual conversation. Dreia with her usual adornment of cheap jewelry. And Santigus, noticing you, gives sort of a passive wave. And the two continue toward the galley, where they enter. I do apologize. I didn't realize that this room was currently occupied. Do you mind if we join?
Well, if it isn't Gus the Admired, welcome in, friends. Yes, help yourself. Help yourself.
Still can't figure out who it was that wrote that letter. He sits down at the table. Andrea sits down next to him. The two are kind of chit-chatting back and forth about things you barely really get. It seems to be sort of an inside conversation. The two were chuckling and having a good time. Ah, yes, allow me to prepare you something to eat. Val once again goes to work at the um, stove. You see some potatoes that get cut up. You see eggs that get thrown into a skillet, and he starts to toss the combination together. He cuts up some onion, green onion, throws it in.
Ian Fear, will you be joining us again, or are you off to do personal things?
Well, I should get back and study more about history of the of, uh, of of the ruling classes, as well as, you know, we've got some other mysteries that we've got to figure out. So, you know, I should spend the day sort of putting together, you know, how we want to approach it and which one we're going to approach.
That sounds like a good plan.
Misku just kind of stands up from the table after she finishes eating, and walks into one of the nearby rooms and shuts the door.
And about you two, Tess points to Gus and the other person sitting next to him. What are your plans for the day upon the ship?
Dreia looks up at you and says, we are on a break right now. That's right. We're on duty. We'll be heading back up to the main deck here in a few minutes after we finish eating.
Oh yeah, I need to do that too.
You on duty this shift?
I've been helping out. I can't remember what Rex's shift is supposed to be, but
Yeah, you tend to kind of jump in to learn the ropes when you can. You don't really have a specific duty shift on the roster. You're
okay.
kind of just shadowing.
Rex been picking off whatever food was left on other people's plates, or and then and so he's like, "Well, I better get to it. Unless y'all need something. Y'all want me to do anything today, guys?" He steps over, kind of lowers his voice a little bit. Do you want me to look for anything?
That is a good question. Hess, what's your opinion?
Keep your eyes and ears open for any kind of discussions. Maybe talking about Bogrim in specific.
I can do that.
Tess is not very experienced with thievery, unfortunately.
You guys are looking for Bogrim?
Not looking for Bogrim, but trying to help Bogrim find the missing item that means a lot to him.
Well, if you need to ask him any questions or anything, I think he's on the deck now. He's the half-orc fella, right?
Tess believes so.
Gotta be. It's he, wears a big wide-brimmed hat.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
That is him,
Beard.
yes.
Yep. Yeah, he's up on deck right now. I think he's running the forward mast.
Rek, you've already spoken to Bogrim about this before, right?
Yeah, I kind of talked to him, tried to get his side of things after he calmed down.
If you can find a way, Tess is very curious to know about how Bogrim is feeling about that one person we were talking about earlier. Trying not to bring it up in front of the other two. She's going to hint at the person we were talking about that Bogrim tends to bully.
Okay, I can try.
And please keep us
Indeed.
updated.
And if we need to pull crew for questioning or otherwise, I'm sure the captain would allow it. I could speak with him if it so pleases you.
Tess thinks that may help us in our investigation.
Balphalin, you hear this kind of, the sizzling of the skillet that's before him suddenly comes to a halt as he pours out 2 plates of this potato and egg and green onion mixture and um, puts it on the table before Drea and Santigas. There you are. I do hope that you enjoy. They immediately start digging in, and Santigas, nothing like a hearty meal. Oh, this is delicious. Thank you very much. My pleasure. Now, I suppose I will proceed above deck and have a chat with the captain. Just let me know if there's anything else that you need to aid in the investigation. Balphalin exits the room, climbs up the stairs above deck. Rek, as you climb above deck, you see Balphalin follows shortly after you. He takes the stairs up to the aft castle, where he approaches Antarius. You see them at the helm up there. Antarius at the wheel. Yes, you see Bogram up at the forward, starboard of the ship.
Rex gonna make his way up to him and be like, "All right, what can I help with?"
It's straight sailing for now. There's not a whole lot to do. We're all just we're at our stations. It's going to be boring for a bit. I understand we should be leaving the Gulf soon, getting into the ocean proper. You afraid of that?
Not really. I can swim. I like fish. Them's good eating.
Well, there's more than just fish out there.
More than fish.
Oh, yes. Monsters, giants live beneath the waves.
Oh man, monsters good eating too if you know how to cook them.
I'm sure there are some things I could learn from you too, friend. I'm not afraid either. And I appreciate that nothing scares you. I mean, why would it? We're half orc.
Yeah, we can handle just about anything.
That's right.
Not
Well,
like that other guy.
I'd say all of them are lesser races, but don't quote me on that. He winks. None of them have the power we do. Sheer strength. That's what keeps us alive.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, pretty sure a rock would kill most of these people. Especially that Aiden guy.
He rolls his eyes. Don't get me started. He spits over the side. After he does that, he glances around to the port side, toward the aft of the ship. You can see Adam is actually there, and they're clearly doing some kind of work.
Like, what's his even deal? Like, what? Like, how do you get on this? And did he bug you or something?
He's weak. Didn't bug me. And I'm sure he just signed up with the rest of us, and for some reason our captain thought it was a good idea to bring him on board. He's weak. Look at him. He's scrawny. There's no way he'll survive out on the ocean without help.
But doesn't he annoy you just a little bit more than everyone else?
Yes. He is constantly taking on tasks that he doesn't have the physical ability to do. And he just acts like he can do anything that the rest of us can. It's absurd. Rolls his eyes again. Why are we talking about him? I don't want to talk about him.
Oh, okay. How does this thing work? And Rex steps towards the cannon.
You've not seen a cannon before.
Not up close.
All right. You can open up the back end here and load in a cannonball. Up at the top, you can load in gunpowder. Light the gunpowder, cannonball fires. Pretty easy. It's point and
It's
shoot,
gotta
kind of
go.
like a bow.
Got to go one way, one first, and then the other. What if I put two cannonballs in there? Does that make it double effective?
You know, I've never tried, but it'd be interesting to see.
Would you have to put two gunpowders?
I would think so.
All right, that's good learning.
You'd probably put 3 gunpowders and it would shoot it even better.
Oh man.
Bet if you put 4, it'd shoot it clear across the ocean.
Jackass, but D&D style.
So they loaded up all the cannonballs.
This episode's going to end with a gigantic hole in the ship.
Before long, you see Valphalin climb down from the aft castle. There it is. I was like, where is the little field? He approaches you, Rek. Rek, if I may have a quick word.
Did you know you can put... never mind. What do you need?
Let's take a few steps this way, if you please. And he gestures you towards this stack of crates in the center of the ship. The captain has given the go-ahead if we need to pull any of the crew from up here for questioning, we can do so. We've got an easy sail for a time, and it seems we have plenty of crew to man the top deck here. So feel free to pull anyone that you want for questioning. I'll go below deck and let Tess know as well.
Oh, okay.
Good luck, friend.
All right.
He sort of slinks off back below deck. Valphalin re-enters the galley, where I believe you're still eating, Tess, and approaches you. He sort of, his eyes shift over towards Santigas, who's locked in a conversation with Blackstrand at the moment, and he leans into you, Tess, and says, "The captain has approved the request. If we need to pull anyone from above deck for questioning, or just on the crew roster in general, we may do so at our discretion."
Still having her mouth stuffed with food. Tess is going to take a moment to chew and then swallow, kind of beating her chest anime style a little bit to help it go down. She'll look at Val and say, "That smoke absolutely has Tess so hungry. Tess does not know how you continue to smoke it throughout the day. Tess has never eaten so much before. It's ridiculous."
This is not my only weed.
Tess is not very experienced with the smoking of the weeds. But yes, we definitely should gather everyone together. Tess thinks she might have a plan. Just give her a little while to consider this. And then, standing up from the table, she'll nod at Dreia and Gus and say, "It was a pleasure eating with you, friends. Thank you."
Gus has just finished up his plate, and he's kind of patting his belly. Drea is still kind of leaned over and munching on her food. And
Sorry
If
to
you-
interrupt, but did anybody else just see the word "dead" float across the
I
screen?
did, yeah.
yeah, that was me. I'm trying to remove whatever buff is on the two of you, and I just cannot find the button for it. So
I was like, what was in that food?
yeah, that was
Now we dead.
that was me.
Make a Constitution save.
Santiga says, if you could, if you're headed up above deck, could you let the captain know we'll be up in about, a couple minutes? Just a few minutes to digest before we get back into the physical labor.
Absolutely. Tess could use some fresh air. And she looks at Val. While we plan how we're going to handle this situation. Thank you all. I will dismiss myself.
Tess, by the way, I heard from the captain that we'll be clearing the Gulf tomorrow. We should prepare for what the sea at large has in store for us.
Whipping around at Val, Tess says, "What do you mean? Tess has never been on the ocean before. What is a gulf?"
The Gulf here is a section of land that curves around and sort of forms a giant pool, if you will. It opens up into the sea at large, which we are headed directly for. Once we get out there, there are all kinds of flora and fauna that we'll need to be wary of. More fauna than flora, but you never know. It is the sea.
Fascinating, Tess says before she turns around and she heads outside of the eating hall to hopefully the upper decks, if I'm putting this correctly. There we go. Can I remove that? No, I can't. Huh. I don't know what that buff is. I think you put that on us because we ate your food.
Yeah, I just can't figure out where
So,
it's coming from.
so it should have been our plus wisdom from the food, and you said it was a temporary effect in our sheet.
Yeah, I just can't figure out what is causing the little icon to show up. But oh, you know what? I think okay, I see it. Yeah, under temporary
Yeah.
effect. There's
And then
just
if you
something that
want to
says nothing.
remove it, you just click the
Delete
X
the
to
effect.
disable the effect.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
cool. Okay, I had never seen that before, so thank you. Cool. All right, so welcome back, Misku.
Yo.
I got an AFK for a bit while we catch up with Misku.
You had left the room temporarily after after letting the cat go. Once everyone was convinced that the cat is just a cat. So after torturing the poor creature, you kind of left for a little while, and now you're back.
Alright, Misku strolls into the room, pretty oblivious to anyone or anything around her, and just starts scanning the table for any bits of food.
If you're still hungry, I can create some more food for you. Val
Yolanthe's
offers.
gonna watch Tess leave the room, kind of sit there and look kind of thoughtful for a moment, and then she's going to leave the room.
Is there any kind of bread on the table?
Sure. There's a few different types of food kind of laid out. Let's
Misku's
say,
gonna find the closest thing resembling bread, uh, and just pick it up and start munching on it.
okay, yeah, this is sort of like a toasted French roll before you. Um, Perhaps not on the table, maybe in one of the bins here on the side, but you're able to find something pretty easily.
Misko's gonna grab it, take a bite, look over to Val, and just give a thumbs up.
Val nods and continues puffing on his pipe. Well, I will be above deck in case you need me. He proceeds out of the room, pipe in hand, and goes above deck. Everybody above deck, once again, you see him climb up to the aft castle, where he goes and approaches Antarius once again. Misku, the two sitting across from you, you recognize one as being Santigus, and the other as being Dreia Blackstrand, who is adorned in cheap, often chipped jewelry. And they're just kind of having a casual conversation with one another, and often they'll, laugh or, um, they're obviously friends.
All right. Misku's just gonna hang out and keep her ears open for anything. If anything catches her ear, um, she'll perk up more. But otherwise, she's just hanging out.
After a time, the two exit, still talking to each other. They kind of give you a passing nod as they walk by you, but they also proceed above deck. So anybody who's above deck, you guys see Santigus and Drea return from below deck. They assume positions on the ship. And from the aft castle, Antarius calls out, Bogrum. I'm sorry, that's not his voice. Bogrum, Adam, you can go on break. Bogrum kind of scoffs. And as he passes by you, Rek, he says, sometimes I think the captain liked doing it. He, continues walking back toward the stairs. Misku Adam pops in the door and takes a seat at the table across from you. Never making eye contact, doesn't gesture or anything towards you. Shortly after them, Bogrum comes through the door and plops down right across from you at the table. As he sits down, he looks over toward Adam and he huffs, rolls his eyes, and then continues kind of sifting around one of the nearby crates for whatever he can scour up.
Is the person on the right of the screen? Is that the person that was being accused of stealing stuff earlier?
That's right.
Okay. Does anything about them visually stand out to Misku?
Visually standing out, Adam is quite a bit scrawnier than most of the other crew members. They're very thin. Um, They also don't seem to make eye contact with anyone for any reason. And they're very quiet. Um, Otherwise, those are the only things that seem to stand out about them.
Okay. Um, can I roll any kind of spot check to see if I can tell if they have anything important with them or they're protecting anything?
Sure. That would be a perception check.
Okay.
A 16, you're looking over, kind of looking them up and down. You notice that they actually have quite a lack of any kind of jewelry or other anything else that could be telltale like that. But they seem to dress pretty light. Only a cloth tunic and some leather pants, boots with fur. But otherwise, it doesn't appear that they are carrying anything or have anything in their possession.
Okay.
Other than what you see.
So there's nothing standing out that would make Misku think this person is a threat or of any worth to her.
Absolutely not. In fact, as you're looking at them, they kind of look up at you momentarily. Never, again, not making eye contact, but definitely notice that you're looking. They sort of blush and duck down into their meal. Every now and again, sort of side-eyeing you.
Misku's gonna raise an eyebrow and let out a short, through her nostrils huff. Just go, and pay her no more mind and go back to eating what's in front of her. Just grabbing different appealing table scraps and just making sure it doesn't go to waste.
Balgrim continues to sort of eyeball Adam, and each time he does, he kind of huffs a little and rolls his eyes. Obviously, Adam's very presence is irritating him.
And he's not doing anything to make this like subtle at all. He's just being very outright with it.
Oh yeah, no, he's actually very loud and intentional about it, almost as if to get oh, almost as if to get his to get Adam's attention. Sorry, multitasking.
So Misku's gonna at this lean forward and with her elbow on the table, her chin cupped in her hand, and just start giving a really like eyebrow raised stern look to Bagram now that he's doing this.
One moment. Sorry, get something down real quick. Did I do this again? Sorry, one moment. Why am I not remembering to do this? Oh, okay, got it.
Meow 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 meow.
Is that the
All
kitty
right.
on the search for treats?
Sorry, go ahead, Misku.
So, I was saying that Misku's gonna lean across the table with her chin in her hand, giving an eyebrow raised, stern look towards Bagram, kind of leaning in more every time he huffs.
Is this weakling pissing you off too?
Honestly, I'm wondering when you're gonna challenge them to a fight at this point. If you're gonna fight them, just get it over with.
Wouldn't get anything up. He sighs. He rolls his eyes once more. He kind of looks directly over at Adam, who doesn't make any eye contact as usual. I'm gonna go downstairs. He stands up and walks out of the, he kind of stomps out of the room.
As he leaves the room, Misku is gonna shout back to him, "Good, go find someone stronger to challenge down there."
He doesn't acknowledge you in any way.
Pick on somebody your own size.
Adam kind of peers up at you one more time, accidentally locking eyes with you for just a moment, blushes, and once again sinks down into their seat.
Misku's gonna raise an eyebrow quizzically again and once again huff through her nose. She's gonna grab one last piece of bread as she exits the room, but before she makes it through the threshold, she will pass Adam, stop, turn around, and ruffle Adam's hair before exiting the room and heading up deck.
As you do that, Adam sort of makes this real guttural noise. Not exactly a word, but kind of like a ah. They don't seem to react otherwise. They just kind of sink further into their seat. They're obviously not used to being touched.
A touch-starved child.
Oh no. Misku will smirk at that to herself as she heads towards the stairs to go up deck.
Reki watches the tiefling, Eritrea, takes the place of Bagram. It's a little bit hard to get down from the aft castle. I think it's one of those ones that's connected to the stairs. One of the 4 spaces that are stairs that'll take you back. There you go. All
For a
right.
little swim.
All right. So everybody is above deck at this point, it seems like. Green seems to still be in her room. No, nobody else is below deck. So you guys kind of see that you're approaching 2 big stretches of land, sort of to either side of the ship, and you're headed kind of straight for this mouth, if you will, that leads out into the greater briny expanse. Anybody who has sailed on a ship before, especially sailing out or in from Mekerdika, probably recognizes this as the mouth of the Gulf here. So you guys are about to get into the briny expanse proper.
Tess moves up to the front of the ship and she's just kind of staring at the land in awe as we continue to sail forward.
Let's see here.
Catherine is also going to move kind of closer to like the middle of the ship so she can get a better view. This is her first time being on a boat and all.
One of the so each of these stretches of land, as it comes a little bit more into view, each has a lighthouse that is planted at the end of it. Neither of them appear to be active as it is currently daylight, and it's not foggy or anything as such that would require a lighthouse, but you definitely notice them as you sail through.
What are those buildings? Tess says to herself as she kind of points at the lighthouses. Tess should take note of these buildings, and she'll pull out her little notebook and then write about these, like, big candle-looking buildings that we pass by.
Balgrim and Adam come back upstairs from below deck, and once again, Antarius calls out. Eritrea and Holly, you're up next. And the two proceed down below deck.
Rick was trying to have a conversation with the person who replaced Bagram about, so how many cannonballs do you think we can fit into this thing with the powder?
He takes both of his hands and he places them on either side of one of the cannonballs in the barrel that's right next to it. And he then, trying to hold his hands as steady as possible, walks up next to the cannon and starts to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to the very front of the cannon. And he goes, probably about 8, 9.
Now, would we put gunpowder in between each of them or all at the back?
I think that sounds like a good idea, putting it in between each one. Overhearing this, this human mast standing next to you, or standing next to Bagram, turns over and she goes, give me a sec, let me get her voice down. She goes, Bagram, I don't think that's a good idea. He looks at her and he sort of snaps and goes, what would you know about cannons, healer? You think this is the first ship I've been on?
Tess at this point is going to step away from the front of the ship, absolutely awestruck by the big candle buildings, and she's going to run up to Rek and say, Rek, did you see those candle buildings? What are those? Look out in the distance.
Rick steps aside and takes a look, and he's like, oh, they look like guard towers.
Guard towers, And Tess opens up her notebook and makes some more notes.
Rather colorful for guard towers. They're made mostly of stone, and they feature a typically red band around the bottom, but you also see some yellow in there. They're actually quite colorful for being guard towers.
That way they can see who's going in and out.
At the top, they appear to have some sort of, signal fire, perhaps?
Are those for bringing more ships into or out of the area?
Wait a minute. These might be cannons that are pointed up.
A wave of panic literally rushes over Tess, and she takes a step back and says, "Wait, cannons?"
Balgrim leans over the side of the deck. Think they got cannons in there? Eliza, almost in a facepalm, walks over and says, "Those are lighthouses. They help ships not to run aground when they're sailing at night or in dense fog."
Oh, houses of light, Tess says to herself as she corrects her notes in her notebook.
Balgrim steps around you, addressing Eliza, and says, "So, how many cannons do you think they have?" She facepalms again and just kind of walks off, ignoring his question.
Looking at Bagram and pointing over toward Eliza, was her name?
Yeah, Eliza.
Tess is going to say, "She's really smart."
I don't know anything about that. She's just a woman.
And what does that mean?
You know, women can't be smart. She's also a human.
Tess will take that into consideration the next time Bagram may need some healing or medicine.
Balgrim can take care of himself.
Doesn't seem like it with the way the earring disappeared.
Do you know anything?
Tess has
Are you
yet to
even-
find out. But Tess is working on it, however. You keep insulting women. Tess finds no reason to actually continue to help with this investigation.
Okay. Eliza's going to kind of step over once more. He's really harmless, I promise.
Sexism is not harmless.
He steps over and, "Who are you calling harmless?" She just kind of chuckles and walks back toward the side of the ship.
Bagram, do you just not like women? It's okay if you like men. Tess is just curious.
He scoffs again.
Okay. And she pulls out her notebook and writes down, "Bagram seems to prefer men."
Wait, what are you writing in that?
Just some personal notes about the investigation, and she holds her notebook close to her chest and turns away from Bagram.
Once again, he kind of walks back over to Rek. That's what I'm saying.
Watch out,
Orcs.
Rek. Bagram might have a crush on you. And then Tess is going to start to walk away. Actually, over towards Adam.
That would be...
Oh, that's not Adam. That's a different icon. Adam is down down here.
That is Dreia, adorned with all
Bam.
of the cheap jewelry and stuff. Adam is over here on the side. Adam doesn't seem to be doing much. They're just kind of leaning over the side and looking off the side of the ship at the moment. I mean, there's not really much to do. You guys are sailing in a straight line.
Real quick before, was Misku able to hear the conversation going on with Rek and Tess and Bagram?
Yes.
Okay, as soon after hearing Tess yell that out, Misku's gonna shout to Rek, "Rek, you can do better. He's not very strong."
I have to AFK for just a second. I'll be right back.
Bagram glances back at you, Misku, and then looks over at the aft castle where Antarius and Valphalin are still kind of chit-chatting while Antarius sort of steers. He scoffs one more time and he turns his attention back toward whatever it was he was paying attention to.
And after that, Misku's just gonna be taking some, pulling out her club and taking some practice swings in the air at the front of the ship, just a pastime.
Balgrim turns to Yurek and says, "What y'all should really be looking at is that Adam character. Well, it doesn't sit right with me. Just, why are you going to be on a ship and be that scrawny? Only if you're up to something."
Oh, I'm keeping an eye on that one.
Be honest, the only other one I think it might be is that Dreia Black. Dr- Her name's Dreia. You know, the one with all the jewelry and what. Seems to me she might want a piece of jewelry like my earring. Little too obvious, though, yeah, me. More likely that Adam character. I don't know.
Tough to say.
What's up, Ian Fear? You have something to do here?
No.
Rex taking a good long look at the lighthouses as we go by, trying to figure it out.
As you pass by, you can kind of see these big. They actually do look a lot like signal fires at the top of these towers, but they appear to be unmanned at current, which is kind of weird. Guard towers. Before long, the other two proceed back above deck, and Antarius issues the order for the next two to proceed down below deck. That would be Eliza, who proceeds below deck, and grab another one here. Poe, who so follows her below deck. Quickly, some of the others move into their places and take over. Tess, Adam kind of moves past you and goes to the station next to Bagram, who immediately glances over at them and scoffs once more. He leans into you, Rek, and goes, "Just our luck today, eh?"
I don't even understand how. Well, people keep going and coming, and I just.
Oh, we get breaks throughout the shift to go and eat. You know, we gotta keep fuel, otherwise we might pass out. I mean, not me. I'll be fine. I'm an orc.
Yeah, of course. And
He starts to kind of go on this long, he kind of just goes on about how, he, he could go days without food, and one time he was camping and he ran out of food and he couldn't find any for like 2 days or something. Seems to be very proud of the fact that he is as strong as he is.
so Rex like, man, that is impressive. But how do you know which knots to use on these ropes?
This is a good question. Be honest, I was only taught this one position. I don't know much more. You might want to shadow one of the others if you want to learn.
All right. I got an idea. And then Rec steps down and comes next to Aiden. All right, what do you know about knots?
Uh, um, knots. I know this. I know this knot, and he, well, they sort of um, unhook, if you will, the rope that's leading up to the main mast, and then kind of retie it. It's a very tight looking knot, actually, meant to
Rec.
keep the mast steady so that it doesn't turn with the wind.
So Rec is paying attention and actually trying to engage and learn the knot work and how it works. But he kind of gives a big, like, nod and a wink towards Bagram as he and then goes back to focusing intently on the Aiden kid.
Aiden never really makes eye contact with you, and at times it seems like they stop their sentences just to sort of drift off, if you will.
But Rec actually will pay attention and ask questions like, well, why not this one? And then he'll try to do a different knot.
Well, we need a knot that it can't be untied if you pull from this side.
Oh.
So
So
the
he's
sail, if it gets the wind, it would be pulling on that side of the rope, and if it's not secure, then it could come untied.
okay. That makes sense. So yeah, so Rec will basically keep him there and try to keep him engaged in that.
They seem to be just sort of not particularly excited, but I guess it seems to be sort of a new feeling for them that they are being spoken to without it being, something that is, well, Bagram. They do seem to maintain a sort of wariness about your presence, however. Perhaps they are intimidated.
Okay.
Wouldn't be the first time for you that,
Yeah.
you walk up and someone is immediately.
But Rec is also trying to learn, but also trying to let them, you know, do what they want. He's trying to lead it to them teaching him. So.
Right, duly noted. Okay. So at this point, not much is going on. The ship is just crossing the mouth of the Gulf here, and that is a good question. What are you doing, Iolanthe?
Iolanthe had crept away from the galley the galley to go and find somewhere quiet and secluded, and she realized that with Antarius out of his room, she could use his. So she just let herself in and hopped up on the bed, where she proceeded to come out of wild shape so that she could take a rest and regain her mind. And then after a period where she was able to recharge her abilities a bit, she decided to change her shape.
So yeah, you probably laid in there around the 4-hour short rest mark.
she decided that the cat had been, compromised, and that a dog would have a better sense of smell, better ability to track things. So, from out of Antarius's room, a smallish, mutsky dog came out.
All right.
Ooh, a pupper.
Where on the ship are you going?
She's gonna go down. She's gonna kind of walk past everyone on the deck and just head down the stairs.
Tess, go ahead and roll. Tess, Serene, Reki, and Fear. And Misku, I'm gonna leave you out on this one because you're so far in front, and you do have the mass between you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll perception, if you please. So that'd be Reki, and Fear, Serene, and Tess.
Rick got a 7.
Oof, Tess.
Oof, I fumbled that one
That is
real
a
bad.
relatively dog-shaped dog.
Yep, looks like a dog.
What dog?
Yeah, actually, none of you even notice the dog, except for Serene. Serene, you notice a dog that you have not seen on the ship thus far come out from the aft of the vessel, underneath the aft castle, and proceed toward the stairs.
Okay, and it's just like from what I can tell, it's just like a regular dog.
Looks like a regular dog, but you hadn't seen a dog on the ship, and you've been at sea a few days.
Okay,
That's new.
yeah. Serene's gonna take note of that, and kind of just watch the dog as it walks by. Is it walking with intent? Like it has an intention? Can I even tell that?
It looks like it has a place it's going.
Okay.
All right, Iolanthe, continue, please. Iolanthe, you climb below deck.
I don't remember the layout of the ship, to be honest, but where is the room where Bograms shares with his roommates?
It is, so it's on the deck that you're on currently. This is the crew deck. And there are 3 rooms off to the right, in the center of the ship there. The center of those 3 rooms, the one with the lantern just outside the door, is the room where there are 6 beds. One of them is Bogram's. One of them, is Santigus. And you also know that there was a bed right in front of Santigus's bed that had a little lockbox underneath, you recall from the night before.
I'm going to sniff around the outside of the door and then poke my head in because I think the door is just open, right?
It's actually this one right here. And yes,
I went
the
the wrong
door
way.
is open. Yep, door is open. As you kind of peer inside, there doesn't appear to be anybody in here right now. But just at a glance, it looks like not much has changed in this room. There are a couple of articles of clothing laid out on a couple of the beds, but you notice that the bed in the upper right corner from where you're at still has the same small strongbox underneath.
Okay. Which bed is Bogram's?
Bogram's bed is in the south west corner, so it is the lower left.
This room full of faceless things kind of creeps me out. All right, I'm gonna go over to Bogram's bed and kind of sniff a little bit at it to try and get a good scent.
Okay. What's your intention? Are you just trying to memorize his scent, or?
I'm trying to memorize his scent and also see if I can smell any other scent, like any other distinct scents in the general vicinity. I know it's been a few days, but
There are a lot of very strong scents in here. You, with your senses, your acute senses, I would say that you're able to easily pick out. Yes, this is Bogram's bed. You know that Santiga sleeps in the one at the center of the top of the room. You can also smell Dreia as well in here, who you've caught their scent a few times. Adam also sleeps in one of the beds here.
Does Dreia sleep in this room?
Yes, Dreia does sleep in this room.
Damn it. Okay, so sniffing around but not able to really just detect anything out of the ordinary, I'm gonna start kind of snorkeling underneath all the beds to see if there's anything that looks like it's not where it's supposed to be. And then I come across the lockbox. You said it's this one, right?
Yep. And from the scent, you can tell that this is Dreia. That's her bed.
Can you describe the box?
The box is it's a small metallic box, and it has a simple locking mechanism on the front. Nothing too intricate or ornate. It looks very plain otherwise, and it looks like it's seen some use. There are the occasional dents in the top, but otherwise it seems intact.
Do I smell anything odd?
Go ahead and roll a perception check. You may get advantage on this. Let me see if you. Yes, you will receive an advantage on this perception check. 24. You detect the scent of Bogram.
Does the box look like it can be nudged open or picked up with my teeth?
Try as you might, you can't seem to get that top open. Definitely the smell is coming from the keyhole, though. As you nudge it, it sort of clatters as though it has other metallic things inside it.
All right. And it can't, like, it doesn't have a handle I can pick it up or anything, does it?
It does have a handle, but it's small enough you could carry it in your mouth.
Okay. I'm gonna pick it up.
Okay. You are now carrying one strongbox in your mouth.
I'm gonna stand there for a second, not really sure what to do with it. And then I have an idea, and I start to go out the door. I poke my head out to make sure no one's there.
Everyone in the...
Whose bed was that? I'm sorry, it was Eliza's that you found that under?
Nope, that was Dreia.
It was Dreia's, okay.
Yep. Particularly the person that wears all of the jewelry and was sitting around with Santigas earlier. No, all the faceless kind of tokens that are in front of you are just crew that I have not assigned a name and or.
Oh, I know. I was just looking at them like, ooh.
Yeah, they're all sleeping though. They're all asleep. They're likely night shift.
They're all ghosts.
Spooky ghosts. I'm gonna take the box down this hallway a bit to this room. What is this? This is the galley.
Yeah, it's the galley.
Okay, I'm gonna take it to this room. No one's in here, right?
No, that room does appear empty.
I'm gonna set it on the ground, and then I'm gonna leave the room and head up to the deck and go straight to Tess. And I'm gonna use my adorable puppy powers to come bounding up to her, all happy and excited with wagging tail, and jump right on her leg.
Tess, a dog that you have never seen before, but with the same telltale eyes as the cat from before, approaches you.
Oh, hello, puppy. Tess is going to kneel down and try to give the puppy some pets because she doesn't exactly know what the doggo wants. How can Tess help you, my friend? Oh, you're barking a lot.
Would I notice this then if
Yeah, at this point, hearing barking,
Y'all got a
you
dog?
notice. Antarius, who has come down, was kind of walking the deck, approaches. Huh. I don't remember a dog being on board, and he kind of looks over at you, Tess. Do you?
She jumps over on Antarius's leg and then like starts kind of doing the little doggy play bow thing.
Tess does not recall seeing this dog around, but it's also a very big ship, and Tess has not done very much exploration.
Well, I suppose it could just be a stowaway.
Oh, but they sure are cute, though. And Tess is gonna try to scritch the pup behind the ears.
She's gonna kind of dodge over towards the stairs and like stand just at the top of it and stare at the both of them with the tail wagging and play bowing kind of.
Antarius kind of, he kind of waves his hand and he goes, "Carry on." Well, I suppose you can't really understand me. And he kind of mumbles to himself as he proceeds back up toward the aft castle.
Her tail droops and she kind of does this little snort like, God damn it. So she rushes back over to Tess. And like, does Tess have like a cloak or like
Yeah.
a loose shirt or something?
She's got a really long cloak that is around her shoulders and reaches down to about her ankles.
Okay, she's gonna grab a little bit of it in her mouth and kind of tug, and then bark again and rush back over to the stairs.
So, hearing the bark, Ianfear is gonna get like a little bit of a sort of like this look, like he gets sparked on an idea. He's like, "I'm gonna try something real quick," and then
No, try, only follow.
he's gonna cast Comprehend Languages.
Interesting.
It is also a first level spell if you do need the wild magic.
I'm just checking something real quick before I do that. Okay, go ahead and roll your wild magic, please. I'm gonna call that one a fail. Go ahead and roll on your wild magic table.
Okay.
Your dice are so hard to see the numbers on.
Giggity.
You rolled a 69. Let me see if I can
Giggity.
find that. Where's that wild magic?
Nice.
Pagram doesn't know that one.
Pull that up real quick. Do. And I'm looking at the extended wild magic table.
Okay.
Oh boy!
Okay. Okay.
I'm loving this sound.
What's it? 50, 20, 25, and 30. Holy crap. Woo. Okay, hold up.
Hold on. Let's see how far exactly does that?
30 feet.
Yeah, no, that's what I was.
Did you just blast me off the ship?
Nope.
Nope. All of you, Rek, Serene, Ianfear, Tess, and Iolanthe, you notice as the entire half of this ship that's in the center here, everyone suddenly just vanishes from sight. Misku, you probably noticed this too, is like all of these people just like gone.
So it's like marble.
Ianfear is gonna sigh and go, "Not again," and then
You hear that. You hear that, but you don't know where it came from.
so he's gonna sigh and he's gonna do a little bit of a snap of his fingers.
Like, can
And-
we see anything?
No.
You can see the ship, and you can see, but you can't see, like, Adam next to you is gone, as is like everybody else that's in that area.
Well, like my screen is black, so I was just
Yep.
Yeah,
assuming.
mine is too.
Yep.
Oh, my bad. Let me un-invid you
Okay,
guys.
there you go. No worries. All right, so we see, so everyone just disappears on the ship. Okay.
Not everybody. Bagram is still there. Holly is
Everyone,
still
it
there.
was everyone within 30 feet of Ian Fear, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was everybody within 30 feet of the Infear. So
What about on the forecastle? Is that within 30 feet of me? Or aft castle?
nope, the aft castle is just outside 30 feet of you.
Can I see Ian Fear wherever we are?
Well, Aimfair was gonna sigh, say, "Not again! I can't believe I have to do this." And then he's gonna say, "Let there be light," as he's gonna do minor illusion here. Let me see if it actually showed it. In order to create a greasy, like a dirty spot on the mast here.
Creating a dirty spot?
Yeah, like a little small like circle, like as like a simple mark.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So I'm actually going to apply some quick icons to these guys so we know who's invisible here. Kind of surprised they don't have one for that. Just going to put the blind.
So wait, are we invisible, or did we get transported off of the ship into a plane or something?
No, you are just invisible.
Yeah, you can still hear me speaking.
Okay, can I go
Yeah,
pee
you-
on Ian Fear's leg?
Yes, you can.
I mean, I'm not going to, but it's nice to know I have the option.
Oh, wow, I forgot to announce this. Okay. At least for the next 20 minutes. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, yep, Ian Fear, as you do cast that spell, you all see Ian Fear just kind of blink back into existence.
And Ian Fear is going to sigh and say, "Okay, this has happened to me once before. In order for you to show back up, if you're a magic user, use a bit of magic. Otherwise, sorry guys, you may have to hit yourselves."
What are you talking about? Where'd everybody go?
Tess is
You've
gonna
all
slap
become
herself,
invisible.
like audible, like hardcore, like smack herself in the face.
Healthiest kind of reappears with just sort of a whoosh of his hand. You hear another smack as Santigus pops back in, followed by Erythra.
So
Oh
he's
my
gonna-
god, that is neat! And Rek punches himself right in the nose.
Ouch. You hear several other people kind of follow suit here. Adam, however, is still gone. Still not there.
Can I smell him or them?
From where you're at? Sure, yeah, probably.
Are they still in the same spot?
They still appear to be on, or they still seem to be on the deck anyway.
Okay. I'm gonna bite my paw, and then when I reappear, try to play it off like if I just had a little flea I was just scratching.
Perfect.
I was gonna say Serene is going to see that everyone else was slapping themselves and coming back, so she's gonna do the same thing. But it's gonna be a lot of force, so she kind of spins in the air after she does it for a minute.
Oh.
Okay, you're back as well. So, the pupper has tugged on your robe and is now planted at the end of the staircase.
Tess will take a few steps forward and stare at the pupper and say, Tess just wishes that she could understand what you're saying.
When she says that, Iolanthe glares over at Ianfear and starts going. Like, no, don't you try it.
Not the mean pupper. Don't be mean. No attitude.
Iolanthe comes over and kind of jumps back on Tess's leg and then comes back over to the stairs and just starts doing like a little hop in place, like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, walkies.
Well, Tess has spent this much time following animals around the ship. Let's see what the puppy has to show her.
Proceeds below deck. You all sort of watch that go down.
Where are we
pup
going,
needs you.
puppy friend?
So Iolanthe stands at the doorway of the room where she stashed away the box and just kind of keeps looking from Tess towards the doorway and then back and starts whining.
If Tess opens this door and you pee in this room, Tess will be in a lot of trouble.
Bark.
It doesn't. The door was actually already open.
Okay, yeah. Let me walk in here. Is this the one?
Yeah, and as you step inside, in the sort of in the middle of the floor, there is a small lockbox.
Is this your lockbox, puppy friend?
Iolanthe looks from Tess to the box and then back and then kind of paws at it like, open it.
Tess does think it's pretty rude to be snooping through people's stuff like this. But Tess is also very curious.
Are you picking up the box?
Yeah, Tess will, well, she's gonna kneel down and see if she can open the box if it's like already unlocked.
It is not unlocked, but as you pick it up, there is the telltale sound of metal inside. Sounds like a lot of small metal things.
Tess is going to mull over this for a little while because she has absolutely no skills with lockpicking. As in, give me a while to look through my spells and whatnot. You can go to other people.
Iolanthe kind of looks at the box and looks at Tess and then barks again, kind of expectantly.
Something about animals on this ship doing their own investigation. Tess is very impressed.
You guys start to hear footsteps outside as two of the other crew proceed to walk by. The last two that were on break, specifically.
Iolanthe watches them go back up on deck and then has an idea and dashes out the door.
You're left alone with the strongbox. Once again, you all, the pupper comes back above deck.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So now she looks up on the deck and sees all the people and kind of sniffs and scans until she finds the person or the, being that she wants to go to and makes her way over towards Misku up at the front.
Misku, you're approached by this dog that you have never seen before.
Does the dog look friendly?
Bark, bark.
Doesn't seem to be aggressive.
Well, Misku stops mid practice swing. Puts her club head down.
Iolanthe ducks.
No, she stops immediately, like midair, like never comes anywhere near Pupper. Puts the club head down, and immediately kneels down, puts her hand out towards the dog.
Iolanthe sits and shakes.
Misku gets excited at this.
Does
Misku. Oh,
Does
go ahead.
Misku have something like in their pocket that's dangling out or something?
Misku does wear a little pouch. There might be an odd trinket like a maybe like a small like utility knife or something hanging off of her rope belt, but those would be about the primary things within reach.
Okay. Yolanthe's gonna kind of play bow at Mifsku and then start kind of like doing the back and forth run, like when a dog wants you to come to the front door to let them out or something. Basically wanting to try to get Misku to follow.
Oh, Misku starts chasing after dog without hesitating. We're going.
Woohoo!
Like Misku's trying to race dog.
We're
Rek,
heading.
you see all of this go down, as do you, Serene and Ianfir.
So we go back down the stairs, and then again she stands by the door of the room and looks in the doorway and looks back at Misku and barks.
Inside the doorway, Misku, you see Tess sort of playing around with this little box. Behind you, Rex seems to have followed.
What is going on?
What you got going on over there, Squirt?
Sitting on the
He jumps over
floor.
on Rick's leg now, like bark.
Sitting on the floor, Tess is staring at this lockbox, and she says, Tess is not exactly sure what is going on, but this dog here led Tess to this lockbox, and if you shake it, and she shakes it, hearing the various jewelry noises coming from it. Sounds like there is a lot of metal in here, but Tess is a little conflicted on whether or not it's a good idea to open up somebody else's belongings.
Misku is gonna flash a mischievous grin and go ahead and reach for the box that Tess is holding.
Just don't do any permanent damage. Tess would feel terrible. And she hands the lockbox over to Misku.
So I do have proficiency in thieves' tools.
Indeed.
What am I looking for to roll on the screen for this?
Doesn't appear
Is it under tools proficiencies or anything, or?
Usually it would be under in your inventory as the tool itself, but I'm not seeing it there. This is something you probably carry on your person anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and just give you one.
Thank you.
Let's say you probably picked it up before you guys left. Yeah, I gotta remember which. There it is. B. So D. There it is. Okay, these tools are in your inventory. Should be able to click on them to roll it.
Oh, wrong part.
No, you did it.
Oh, use. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's like the little use button.
Oh, it's not giving me.
Oh yeah, I see it. It's not giving you the proficiency for it. We need to mark it. Give me a second. Tool type, tools, base tool. No. Oh, they straight don't. There it is, Thieves' Tools. Proficient. Okay, that should have fixed it. Go ahead and click Use again. On the chat window.
It's still not letting me click that.
Try it again. Try rolling it. Re-rolling
Okay.
it from your inventory.
Is this
Use.
is this with advantage or normal?
Just normal.
Okay.
All right, we have a 19, so yeah, this one's pretty easy. The locking mechanism is actually relatively simple. You've got two tumblers, all of two tumblers that are quite easy to get into place as you turn the tension rod. You easily kind of snap them into place, and then the lock turns with a final click, and the box starts to swing up.
All right. What am I seeing here?
One moment. That right. There we go. So inside this small iron box is a collection of cheap and often chipped jewelry. Atop the pile sits a plain brass earring. Unlike the other metallic jewelry within, the earring bears few signs of wear.
Do I immediately perceive any of this as being something that is worth any money?
No. I mean, you could probably sell it for 10 copper, 11 copper, the whole thing. But, not worth very much at all.
The box
Probably. What's that?
So with the box in one hand, Misku's gonna scratch her head with the other, tilt her head to the side, and go, "All right, well, knock yourself out, kiddo," and hands the box back to Tess.
Can Tess focus, take a moment just to think back to when we first met Bagram and try to remember what his earring looks like?
Yeah, the earring was a just kind of a simple loop earring, and this is absolutely it.
Okay.
Yeah, this matches it at least. You're not sure if this is it, but it definitely matches what you remember.
Tess is going to pull out her notebook and she's going to take a quick couple minutes to sketch out what this loop earring looks like before looking to our dog companion and saying, "Where on this ship did you find this box?"
At that, Yolanthe's gonna start booking it towards the room where the box was.
You're not quite used to animals understanding you just from plain speech, so you find it a little weird that the animal seems to have responded to you.
Tess is going to stop next to Rek and say, "That is a very smart dog," before she continues to move up the hallway. Leaving the lockbox in the room that we were just in for now. Tess did not bring the lockbox with her.
Okay. Misku, you're alone with Strongbox.
Oops.
All right. Misku's not really interested in anything else, so she's gonna head back up topside and start swinging her club again.
Rek, you see Misku go up the stairs, satisfied that her work here is done, and you see Tess and the dog approach this center room here. You remember this as being the room that Bagram sleeps in.
Okay, I see where they're going. Rhett goes over and looks in the box to see what was in it.
You see the same thing, that it's like a small pile of various chipped, cheap jewelry. Nothing like gem studded or anything like that. And some of them even have like places for where a gem would slot, but there are no gems. These are all just like plain, usually brass, copper, silver jewelry. But yeah, on top of the pile there is an earring that stands out from the rest because it is not chipped in any way. It looks to be in quite a bit better condition than the rest of the jewelry that's in the box.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, is this a thing?
Brett calls out from the other room.
Tess thinks possibly, but we're still looking into it. She shouts back.
All right, whose room is this? And then Rex starts looking around it.
Iolanthe kind of watches Rick and then kind of does a little doggy face palm and then dashes back over towards him and like nudges at him to follow.
I imagine her lifting her paw up and just like rubbing her snoot with it. Like that's the closest I can imagine, like when a dog has an itch on its face and they rub it.
She runs back over to the doorway and pokes her head in, and nobody's in there still, right?
Yeah, room is still empty.
All right, she comes in and goes over to the bed where whoops, that's the table.
You can be underneath the table pretty easily.
Okay, and then she points at the bed.
She's pointing at this bed in the upper, we're going to call it the
like
back
pointer
corner
style
of the room
pointing,
here.
not like human pointing.
Yeah.
Point him with the newt. Newt pointing.
Putting her hand up to her chin, Tess is going to contemplate for a moment. Are there any, like, placards that have names above these beds or anything?
No.
But this is quite the valiant effort, puppy, but Tess is not quite sure whose bed this is. If only Tess had the nose like you. We could probably sniff this out quickly.
Iolanthe tries to paw at the bed, like going, look, it's right here, look. It's here.
Could you possibly show Tess who it is that sleeps in this bed? Do you have any smells you can pick up on? Anything? This is ridiculous. Tess has never spoken to an animal like this before. It's not like you can understand her.
Iolanthe kind of like ducks her head on the ground and like double face palm paws.
Completely out of character. Someone did cast comprehend languages earlier.
Yes, but that, barking?
I know, but I'm just saying.
Actually, that spell never went off. Instead, he made everyone invisible.
He vanished us.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what he tried. That's funny to me.
He tried, though.
Iolanthe slips past Tess through the doorway and runs back over to where the lockbox is and starts rooting around. Like, she kind of tries to root it to where it tips over, because I'm guessing it's left on the floor, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was left on the floor and open.
And then she, like, so it tips over, and she, like, takes her nose and scoots the earring out of the rest of the pile, and then starts like trying to paw the rest of it into a little pile, and then like points at it with her nose, and then just looks at Tess expectant. I'm guessing Tess follows.
Yeah, Tess followed.
So you've like got the earring separated from the rest of the pile, and you're pointing at the earring. Am I getting that right?
No, I'm pointing at the pile of junky shit jewelry.
That is quite a lot of jewelry.
Really gives me a good idea for the name of this episode, but go on.
And Tess has been, recently she's been more involved with, like, the scrolls and what's going on with the mirror and Scriteau. So she's trying to rack her brain and try to remember if there's anyone around the ship that wears way too much jewelry.
Wait,
meet.
I got a thing for this. And I sit down with the dog, and it's going to take me 10 minutes. And I start doing speak with animals
Probably a good place to leave
All right,
off.
all right.
as a ritual. So it's going to take me a while.
Okay, so as you're when Rex sits down, you're probably going to scatter some different. Let me see. What are the things that you need for this? This is a ritual. You're probably going to scatter your typical like ritual things. This probably consists of like bones, perhaps some chalk, things like that. Um, and Tess, you can immediately identify him or this as him, performing some kind of ritual. He begins to focus and concentrate on the animal.
Yolanthe's just kind of sitting there watching him pull all this stuff out and sits down and starts like tapping her paw like impatiently.
Any other actions here? Anyone?
I just got both my hands on the dog's shoulders to hold it in place so it doesn't go anywhere while I start this concentration now.
You stand there for about 10 minutes, watching him through this test quietly, and the ritual does succeed. You are now able to speak with animals.
Hi, dog.
Whoa, you could talk? I mean, to me?
What are you trying to say?
Whoa, that's weird. That's why they call you Bear Man, because you can talk to bears.
Only the one time. You know how hard it is to get a bear to sit still for 10 minutes?
Oh, I talk to bears all the time. They're nice.
Tess, this probably all just sounds like him going. "Boo, boo, 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 boo."
I was just about to say that. Tess is kind of cocking her head to the side. She's a little confused, but still invested.
What are you trying to say about the box?
The box. It was under, what's her name? The one that wears all the jewelry. It was under her bed. And it has his earring in it. She's the one who took it.
So then Rec turns to Tess and he's like, it was, what's her name? She got all the jewelry.
Griselda.
Dreia? Does Dreia wear a
Dreia.
whole lot of
It's
jewelry?
Dreia's box is what the dog says. If you can,
And
if you believe me, what the dog is saying. Because dog believes it.
I found it under her bed.
It was under a bed.
It was under Dreia's bed in specific?
Yes. That's what the dog says.
Perhaps for now, we should close the lockbox and put it back where our puppy friend found it.
Hey, wait. You have to give the earring back.
So I hear the dog pretty much being like, "Ruh, ruh, 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 ruh."
The dog says you gotta give the earring back. But look, dog, we're trying to if we just give it to him, he might think we stole it. We need to.
So put it in his pillow so he just thinks he misplaced it.
Oh man, that would drive him nuts. Hey Tess, the dog says to put it under his pillow so it seems like he's crazy.
This dog is absolutely brilliant.
I think that's
Thank you.
hilarious. And the dog says thank you.
I'm sorry, that just killed me.
All right, everyone. That is about all the time that we've got for today. We will pick up the conclusion of this case, perhaps next time. So be sure to join us next time for New Dalancia. That happens every Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time here on the VGpunx channel. Be sure to check out my Twitter page for updates as we go, and other announcements. But it has been fun. We will see you all next time. And until then, I am your most gracious DM, VGpunx, and we are signing off. Keep a song in your heart.
Bye.